Shalom. I want to start by giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching of scriptures, among other things. And salutations to all the Akyam across the earth who are doing this work in sincerity and the truth. And shalom to the sincere brothers and sisters who are at home watching the videos and do their best to please Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai. So yeah, man. This video I want to go into basically what's going on there in the Middle East, So Iran, they stopped taking it, and now they showing that they are able to strike these Israelis, these small heads, these gutterheads, these big nose people, that they are able to strike them back, So here you see a picture of how they destroyed the university of these small heads, You see, it's beautiful, man. In the war with Israel, Iran also seems to be choosing its targets very deliberately. On Sunday, the Weizmann Institute of Science came under fire. The university is considered one of the best research institutions of the world, of course, because it's of the small heads, then it's got to be the best. We hit the nuclear scientists and they hit our top scientists. This is the story of Professor Elad Tazdor. At around 3 a.m. on Sunday morning, campus residents received a warning of an impending Iran missile attack. Minutes later, sirens sounded, and then a huge bang. Professor Taz has lived on the campus of his university in Rivot, a city half an hour's drive from Tel Aviv, for 22 years as a biologist. The smallhead works on new treatments for heart disease and in the past was head of molecular cell biology department. What happened on the night of Saturday to Sunday is therefore particularly painful. 2 Iran missiles destroyed 2 buildings on the ground. You see that precise work, man. 2 Iran missiles destroyed 2 buildings on the ground of the world-famous Weizmann Institute of Science. I have never heard anything like it, the professor says of the explosion on his campus. Yeah, because these people thought that they could do everything and have the world basically standing behind him and nobody striking them back. But this is beautiful, man. This is really beautiful. Tazorkin only describes the feeling in the shelter with one word: wow. The whole shelter was shaking. After 10 minutes, nobody knew what happened. After half an hour, it was clear that the rocket had hit Weizmann. Then I saw some pictures of a fire in one of the buildings, and I zoomed in and thought, this is where I work. This is my building. There's nothing left of it. At sunrise, Tazor knows for sure his entire laboratory has been destroyed. That was our second home, he says emotionally. Yeah, you deserve it, man. And don't get me wrong, I don't give a shit about these Iranians either, They are all our enemies, all of these heathens, man. The rockets hit one side of the building, exactly where the biological laboratory was located. The 3 floors then completely collapsed. I realized in the morning that there was nothing left, absolutely nothing. I tried to find something from the laboratory, but there really was nothing left. The scientists still have information on the computers, but many hard segments of animals and people have been lost. Professor Tzar called the attack absolutely deliberate. 2 rockets hit 2 buildings of the institute. You see that, how they got some good weapons, That's no coincidence. I see the direct connection. We hit their nuclear scientists, he says, referring to the deadly Israeli action at the end of last week, and they hit our top scientists. They just didn't hit the physical faculty, but only biologically and maybe chemistry. Iran's strike on a prominent Israeli university is a part of a broader picture of targets hit by the Islamic Republic. Smallhead journalists, however, are subject to the country's strict censorship rules, meaning that many strategic missile strikes do not make the news. The hit at the research center in Rehovot and oil refinery in Haifa received attention, but damage to the IDF headquarters and an intelligence base in Tel Aviv does not make it into the Israeli newspaper and news. You see that? So they try to hide the damage that Iran is really doing to them. In Israeli society, there are widespread calls not to share affected locations of strategic value. Foreign journalists can move more freely in Israel, but they must adhere to certain rules, especially in times of war. The Israeli authorities tighten such restrictions. This is mainly due to national security. Information can end up in the hands of Iran intelligence service. Beautiful, man. That Iran only hates strategic and military targets is certainly not the case. The victims of the Iran missiles attack are almost exclusively civilians. See that how they already try to bend the news, so now they say that Israelis are mainly hitting civilians. But what is the of these Iranian missiles that they most of the part hitting civilians? But what are these smallheads doing? Even at the points where there's this Palestine goes to get some food, they be shooting at them with the tank, with the grenades, from tank armored vehicles, killing hundreds of them. So yeah, what are they talking about? As there have been civilian casualties in Tehran, it shows that many of the missiles are very inaccurate and possible deliberately land on residential areas. These Israelis do that for sure. They do that for sure on purpose. The Iranian missile strikes have killed 24 people since last Friday, in addition to hundreds of wounded. The Israeli air defense is not capable of neutralizing all Iran missiles. No, they shot 2 missiles, and this Iron Dome of them couldn't even catch those 2 missiles. Israel accuses Tehran of deliberately targeting civilians when bombing residential areas in cities across the country. Yeah. So now, now they're trying that anti-systemic card again, now they the victim. Meanwhile, they the aggressor. That's funny, man. For years. Iran didn't do nothing for years back to them, Now they started basically to fight back, and now they want to pull the card like, yeah, what you're doing, this and that. Just as the Israelis are said to be doing in reverse. In particular, only civilians were hit in residential buildings at Batnam, Bnei Brak, Haifa, Petah Tikva, Ramat Gan, Rinson, Lishan, Tamara, and Tel Aviv. Whatever, man. Also, Germany also strongly condemns the indiscriminate Iran attack on Israeli territory. You see, still some of these idiots are still standing behind Israel, but soon. Soon that there's gonna be a point where they are not able to defend them anymore. Actually, they are not able to defend them anymore because everybody see the hypocrisy going on. Peter Weininga, defense specialist at the Hague Center of Strategic Studies, cannot yet determine the precision of the missiles, but despite all sanctions and boycotts, the Iranians have been able to build up a considerable arsenal of missiles with Russian and probably also North Korean help. And that's funny because they tried to keep them down, so that they were able to do whatever with them, what they want, but they couldn't keep it, Weininga therefore warns against underestimating them. Professor Stozar is not taking about giving up and want to rebuild even bigger. Where Israel said we are, where these Edomites said we are impoverished, but we will build up. Professor tells us, that's the spirit of these devils, man. They think, they think Trump make America great again. Hey, man, y'all busy with your downfall, man. It's beautiful to see, man. Professor Tozar is not thinking about giving up and wants to rebuild even bigger. We are not discouraged by this. I remain positive. Maybe I am too naive because it will take a lot of time. The damage is enormous, but this is the place where I built my research and my career. Even as a PhD candidate, I'm quite sure that I can do it again. Yeah. We are impoverished, but we will build up, that proud Edomite spirit, So this is an update about what's going on over there. Let me translate it real quick. So So Iran says Israeli intelligence agency next to hospital was targeted. Follow the latest news about the escalations. Just going to some titles, and this also PVDA. That's a party from Holland, so they want to stop the delivery of parts for air defense to Israel. The GreenLinks PVDA Parliament Group wants the delivery of the Dutch components for the Israeli Iron Dome air defense system to be halted. Israel is currently the aggressor. If Israel were the victim, we would have a different discussion, said Mr. MP Piri in a debate with caretaker Foreign Minister Veldkamp. He reacted shocked to the position because the air defense system protects civilians from rocket attacks. Yeah, does it? Does it? What about the other civilians? And don't get me wrong, I don't give a shit about none of them, man. They are all our fucking enemies, man. Iran military reports attacks in western Iran. So they launch a wave of attacks in the western Iran, targeting Iranian ballistic missile infrastructure and Iran military personnel. The military reported on X some 20 fighter jets were reportedly involved in the attacks. According to the army, a drone hit trucks with ballistic missiles at a launch site. Iran has not yet responded to the attacks. Yeah, they will probably soon. So this is what we know about Israel and Iran's attack on each other. Yeah, Iran missiles attacks on Israel this morning. But you know what the thing is? Iran is defending himself. Israel been killing leaders of them, you know, been bombing them, and yeah, nowadays they really strike back. You know, like years ago, they basically did a show, you know, by shooting all these drones and letting the drones flying to the air, and the Iron Dome was able to catch them all. But that was just showing them like, okay, look what we got, you know. And then Israel continued to, you know, killing their leaders, murdering their leaders, and now they have enough of it, you know. and now these Israelis, they are suffering, you know. It's funny to see, man. So Iran said the hospital was not targeted, but an army intelligence command next to the hospital was. And that's also the thing, you know, these small heads, you know, attacking hospitals, saying that there's a secret headquarter of Hamas there and this and that, you know. So beautiful, man. So far 89 injured. I want to see more death, man. Israel attacked Iran's heavy water reacted overnight. Emergency service called nearly 90 injured after rockets attacks on Israel. Another 31 were wounded as they ran to shelter, the Israel's sister organization of the Red Cross said. And that's also the thing, you know, these Israelis, these smallheads, they also been shooting at people. They killed some of the Red Cross also, you know, so yeah. So funny, man, funny to see, man. Yeah. Beautiful, man. You got some images thereof. Beautiful, man. Beautiful to see, man. Beautiful. But let me take this one. I like this picture, man. It's beautiful, man. That is really beautiful. Damage. Beautiful. So yeah, man. So that's the case over there, man. And now if Holland also stopped with providing them with parts for the Iron Dome, you know, then it's done, man. It's already done. The Iron Dome, you know, it can't do shit, man. It's already been proven. So they shoot 2 missiles and they hit two targets, you know. so that already should show something, you know. Let me see. So let me jump to the book of Isaiah. This is what it says when the children of Israel gonna be back, the real children of Israel, when they're gonna be back in the land of Israel, man. So this is the book of Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls. So meaning these heathens, all these other nations gonna build up your walls. They're gonna build up the kingdom of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. It's not gonna be like this so-called professor is saying that he's gonna build that university again, of his laboratorium again, and blah blah blah. No, man. That's the spirit of these devils, man. We are impoverished, but we will build again. No, man, you're not. You're going down, man. This is your downfall, man. We see it, man. We see it, man. So, back to the book of Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 10. And the sons of strangers and the real children of Israel are the so-called Negros, Latinos, and the so-called Indianos, and those that go back to those people by the household of their father. For example, if I, as a so-called Negro, would lay down with a white woman and make a child and get a son, my son is going to be lighter than me. And when he grows up and he's going to do the same thing, going to make a child with a so-called white woman, his son going to look like a so-called white man and grow up, look like a so-called white man, but meanwhile he's my seed, he's part of my lineages. So yeah, are people going to look like all kind of, like all the nations, but we go back to the so-called Negros, Latinos, and the so-called Indianos, that's what it is. And those are the real children of Israel. So yeah, like the scripture said, my heritage is like a speckled bird, so we're going to look different, but to the spirit you're going to see who the children of Israel are, because we are the salt of the earth, inventors of everything that you see around you, the music, the refrigerator, the infrastructure, the AC, the air conditioning, the stoplights, and so on and so on. The cars, everything is invented by us, man. During slavery, even before that, so yeah, until this day, So yeah, man. So the book of Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night. So if you look at Israel nowadays, they got soldiers standing at the borders, patrolling, watching everything, people getting ready, staying close to the bunkers, to the shelter, so that's showing you that they are not dwelling in peace. Meanwhile, the scriptures teach us that if the children of Israel are going to be put back in Israel by the hand of the Heavenly Father, by Yahushai, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, then they're going to dwell safely there. But that's not the case with these devils, man. They're far from safety. They thought they were safe and that they could do anything with their neighboring countries as they pleased. But they're coming back from how you say that? From a great disappointment, Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. So, meaning we're gonna have a full control of all the substances that they have and of them. What does it say in the book of Psalms? I will give you. Let me grab that real quick. Because that's what it's going to be. Let me see, the book of Psalms. It's the book of Psalms chapter 2 and verse 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. So we're gonna have the beautiful parts of the earth, and we're gonna have these heathens as a possession. They're gonna be our servants, Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. So we're gonna rule over them with hardness. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a pot of vessel. So we're gonna treat them the same way, even harder, like how they treating us until this day, So yeah, continue doing your shit, and you're gonna find out soon. It's closer than you think. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee, because that's also a thing, the law, statutes, and commandments going to be implanted all over the earth, so they have to keep it. And if they don't keep it, they're going to be destroyed, man. So simple is it. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted. The glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together, to beautify the place of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet glorious. Yeah, because the earth is the footstool of the Heavenly Father, so it's going to be beautiful. Everything's going to be in peace, man. Nature going to be in peace, the animals going to be in peace, because they're suffering on the people, man, especially on the so-called white man, since they are the leaders of the economy, going to countries, getting resources on the most, doing it on the most polluting way, leaving countries fucked up, nature messed up, they're gonna pay for all that, man. The son also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despise thee shall bow themselves at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of Yahweh, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles and suck the breast of kings. And so we're gonna have, like I said, we're gonna have all the possessions of them, And thou shalt know that I, Yahweh, am thy Savior, and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. For brass I will bring gold, and for iron I will bring silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron. I will also make thy officers peace, and thy extorters righteousness, So like I said, it's gonna be beautiful, man. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation and thy gates praise. Is that the case? Is that going on with these devils over there? No, apparently not. This man was telling all this story about he living for 22 years at a university, and at one moment, a few seconds, it's gone. Completely nothing left over of it, That's also what Yahushua said, eventually this is going to be the image over the whole planet, because what did Yahushua told his disciples? I'm going to jump to that real quick. The book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 2. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. You see that? So everything is going to be flattened to the ground, and going to build up from the ground up, and these heathens going to build our kingdom. They're going to do it, We're not going to lift stones, they're going to build our kingdom, since we been building up all their kingdoms of the earth, So yeah, this is a rightfully thing to do, Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation and thy gates praise. The sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee, but the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy power, thy glory. Yeah, man. And we're gonna be perfect. We're gonna get the law, statutes, and commandments. In our minds. So that we're not gonna be able to sin again. Thy sun shall no more go down, neither, so meaning the knowledge going to be with the children of Israel, Thy sun shall no more go down, neither shall thy moon withdraw itself. For Yahweh shall be thy everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended, no more sorrow, So that is another thing that's showing you that these are not the people. They are mourning, they are in sorrow now, They are, and that's beautiful to see, because this is the curses being flipped upon them, They are not sure if they're going to make it to the next day. Let me grab a couple of scriptures quick. Let me first go, to Deuteronomy, of course. Deuteronomy. Let me check first. This is Deuteronomy, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30 and verse 7. And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And then I'm going to jump to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, to read one of these curses. Let me see. Because this is basically what is going on with these devils right now, with these small heads right now. So this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 66. Because this is what they are feeling now, And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have no assurance of thy life. You know? And that's basically what's going on right now with them. In the morning thou shalt say, would Yahweh it were evening, and at evening thou shalt say, would Yahweh it were morning, for the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. And they go into that right now. That's beautiful to see, man. So back to the book of Isaiah, chapter 60 and verse 21. Thy people also shall be all righteous. Like I said, you know, we're going to have these law, statutes, and commandments in our mind, you know, so we're going to be perfect, you know. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, Yahweh, will hasten it in his time. You know, so we looking forward to that, man. So yeah, basically, you know, I'm gonna let the video leave the video like that. You know, it's beautiful to see these people suffering. You know, I woke up this morning with these articles. You know, like, yeah, man, that's really beautiful to see that. You know, and yeah, this is beautiful, man. This is really beautiful. You know, and I saw some clips, you know, I don't remember exactly which country there was, you know, there was a country they were celebrating while they saw the missiles of Iran going to the air towards Israel, you know. Because you got to keep in mind, all these countries around Israel, they've been suffering from these devils, you know, because they've been attacking them. And now Iran, you know, started to stand up against them. So all these countries, they are also celebrating with that, you know. So yeah, man. So with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops, great millstone for teaching of scriptures, among other things, and salutations to all the Akyam across the earth who are doing this work in sincerity and truth. So with that, I'm going to say Shalom.